This is Möbius Front 83. It's the latest game from Zachtronics, which is one of my favorite developers, and it's a game about America at war with itself, which feels really appropriate for me to be streaming on Election Week 2020. So I haven't actually streamed in about a week because life is complicated. I'm on sabbatical, and that turns out to make your life more complicated and not less. And so streaming's been a little bit spotty, but that's okay. There's a lot of great stuff coming out, even in the middle of a very chaotic time, and this is one of them. So Zachtronics is most famous for their sort of creative problem-solving games that sort of they task the part of your brain that that a programmer uses. Things like Opus Magnum, Exapunks, Infinifactory, Molic Syntez. This game is not those games. This is more like Eliza in that it's a digression from their usual modus operandi, but it's an interesting one. It kind of reminds me of some of the strategy games that I used to play when I was a kid. So it's basically it's a classic hex-based turn-based strategy game. And it's one of those games where you have to carefully think about what you can do on a turn and what the enemy's capable of doing on a turn and plan accordingly. So far, I've only played a couple of missions. The difficulty ramped up really steeply, and I had to learn how to use these units. And they're still, I'm still early on. They're still introducing new units, so there's a lot I have to learn. In the last mission, I ended up hitting the replay button or the reset button multiple times. So we'll see if I have to do that this time too, because I am definitely still in the learning phase. So here it's telling me, some helicopters can carry infantry but must land before passengers embark. Transport and unload your rifle team into the specified location. Okay, so this is just a tutorial. Great. All right, so, oh, you know what? I need to put myself in a different part of the screen for you to be able to see what's going on. So let's say top right is where I go. All right, so I select the helicopter and tell it to move. And so I'm going to move it next to these dudes. But they can't actually get on. Normally they'd be able to get on if it was just a car that drove up or something, but they can't. So I've got to wait. I've got to end my turn. So I end my turn. Now the helicopter lands. Ooh, irrevocable choices like that, they actually make me press and hold the mouse button, which is interesting. So now I can embark, but still, my turn is over. So this is definitely a game where, instead of trying to give you a lot of power each turn and make sure you can do commit to a satisfying set of actions every single turn, this is a game where you have to be very thoughtful about what you do each turn because your options are very limited. So now I end my turn. And how quickly can I take off? Okay, it looks like I can take off and move in the same turn. So I can run over here. Whoop. And then that's all I can do that turn. Oh, wait, it wanted me to... I'm an idiot. It wanted me to put the rifleman in this location, which means the helicopter can't be in that location. So we'll try this again. Okay, so now we're going to land... Do I have to land the helicopter? Yes, I do have to land the helicopter. Okay, so let's land the helicopter. And then I can select the guys that are inside the helicopter, disembark, and set them on the tile. Okay, cool. They've taught me a new skill. That's great. So the story of this game is that America is being invaded by another dimension's version of America. And so we've got, it's a great way to justify having completely, equal, balanced forces. So the first phase, when you start, so there's no scrolling around a map in this game. Like it's a lot like, what is the name of the game I've been playing like crazy? Okay, I'm alt-tabbing out of here so that I can, remind myself. Wait, is it Windows D? Oh, that didn't do anything good. Ah, dang it. Okay, what is the name of the game? Into the Breach. Into the Breach. It's a lot like Into the Breach in that you've just got the entire map in front of you on the screen. You're not scrolling around. It's not some huge map. It feels like a board game because you just got the entire board just in front of you at all times. And so the way it works is you got to capture these series of control points, and capturing them simply, you just have to land a unit on them and you've captured them. But it's kind of like that, like one of the old school versions of Unreal, in that you can only capture the next one in the sequence, and so you can never sort of like sneak behind enemy lines and like capture control points from behind them. That's not a thing. You can only capture the one that's right in front of you, which means that's inevitably going to bring the armies into conflict with each other. So you start by deploying, and you can deploy in phases. So in phase 1 I only have 5 units. It looks like I'm going to have 10 units in phase 2. So, okay, yeah, so I'm going to be getting some tanks later on. But for now, I've just got a couple of helicopters, a couple of APCs, and some jeeps. Okay, so we'll send one APC to capture the very first point to begin. And you can see there's a fog of war that's getting revealed as we go here. Oh wow, this helicopter can go super far. So that makes me nervous. It's very, very possible to overextend yourself in this game. That was the main problem I had in the previous mission. Was I had these ambitions to like take these later control points, and I would just rush out there and get wiped out by the enemy because I hadn't taken the time to set up a defense. So I am tempted to at least see if I can get away with it this time. So let's move that helicopter out. Okay, I don't see any enemies nearby. That's a good sign. And now, okay, so because I have only 1 point remaining, and each of these costs 2, I gotta choose which of these I'm going to send out here. So I can send out an M151 with an anti-armor team in it, or one without. Well, I guess I'll send the one with the anti-armor team because, having more troops is good. All right, and we'll back up. I've deployed. That's my turn. So we're going to see if the enemy takes anything. Okay, so the enemy hasn't taken anything. So I'm just going to assume that I'm fairly safe here. All right, so let's move some troops onto that control point to take it. And I'm feeling... Okay, so the enemy shouldn't come out here until they've taken more control points out here on the field. So I'm going to assume that I'm fairly safe. I'm going to actually, instead of setting up a defense here, I'm going to assume I want to keep these guys on the helicopter and move them a little bit more forward before I start, dropping them. Yeah, so I'm just going to move everybody up. And that's my turn. Okay, so you can see the enemy took a control point this time, so they are advancing on me. The question is, do they have helicopters like me? Are they going to be suddenly rushing out and just dropping things on me? So I should say something about sort of the rock, paper, scissors of this game. So infantry usually take a long time to kill. Most of the weapons you can use against infantry kill them slowly, and so they're kind of like, it's ironically, your infantry are kind of your tanks. They can take a lot of hits, but they also move very slowly, and most of them can only attack people that are right next to them. So their strategy relies on forcing the enemy to come to them. Okay, we got an APC over there. I can't land this turn, so hopefully I'm not screwing myself over and overextending myself. Probably should have embarked these guys before I just ran off with my whatever. Okay, so I'm going to try to set up a defense along this rivery thing. This lake. That's what those are called, lake. Okay, so... Oh, I can't disembark on the same turn that I moved. Okay, cool. So I'm going to try to put a mortar here to shoot anyone who tries to take this control point. I'm also going to try to set up some defensive stuff back here. And if they've got helicopters, they could be flying in above me too, so I should be prepared for that. So actually, yeah, maybe I should... Do I want... I guess, you know what? I'm going to assume they're all going to be coming charging right across this control point. So I'm just set up like that's what's going to happen. Okay, so they've got some tanks. They've got, okay, so anyway, going back to sort of the rock, paper, scissors of this. So mostly what I have right now, this phase, is infantry. They're good at digging in, making the enemy come to them, and then doing a lot of damage. These tanks are really good at charging in and doing damage before they take any damage, but they can be pretty vulnerable to anti-tank stuff. And so the tanks are highly mobile. They can actually move and attack in the same turn, whereas most other units have to choose whether they're going to move or attack. The APCs are that way. If they move, they can't attack, and if they attack, they can't move. And so they're good at sort of being like backup support fire for the infantry, but not for much else in a battle. And they're pretty easy to take out if there's other armor out there. So, what I'm going to want to do... Okay, so these tanks, what they're going to be able to do this turn is they're going to be able to charge ahead. Yeah, their move is 3. So, like this guy, for instance, he's going to be able to get this close to me. He's going to be able to get to that tile. And if he gets to that tile, the range of his anti-infantry stuff is 3. So, he'll be able to he'll be able to shoot any infantry that's around here. Anyone who's on the coast, he'll be able to shoot next turn. And he'll be able to shoot any armor that's this far away. So I've got to really be aware of that. So tanks can rush in, do a bunch of damage, and then they're vulnerable after they've done that. But they can do so much damage to you. You have to really be cautious with it. And so, what ideally what I want to be able to do is set up some infantry that can damage the tank. Like if the tank charges ahead, I need to have infantry in a position to do damage back. But unfortunately, okay, yeah, so the infantry that I've got needs time to set up. So maybe what I actually want to do... I see, this is the thing that I'm afraid. I think that I've overextended myself. I mean, if I tried to start dropping my inventory now and setting up now, they're going to get annihilated before they can even start doing any damage. So most of my infantry, like this guy can only shoot things that are right next to him. The infantry that I can actually use for long-range gun battles are these guys that are loaded onto the Jeep. This guy, if I take time to set up, he can dig in, wait for armor to come to him, and just annihilate the armor. But because I overextended myself, that's actually going to be hard. So rather than trying to take this control point, I feel like what I actually should do is set up to defend this control point. So like say this tank goes here. It can only shoot infantry at this distance. So what I should do is... he's going to be able to annihilate this helicopter. Can I sacrifice this helicopter? Okay. I might end up restarting this mission because I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm going to sacrifice this helicopter. I'm going to disembark these dudes. That guy right there, who will be out of range of the tank. These guys will not be out of range of the tank, but they'll be able to shoot the tank soon if it comes. Actually, I'll just claim the control point with them, because why not? This thing is getting killed, though. I'm just really sure of that. We could also get... Okay, so a tank could be here. So any vehicle that is in this range is going to get annihilated by the other tank. So I need to back out these vehicles. But I need to disembark my guys first. So, let's see. So a tank that's here could shoot any dudes that are in this range. So I don't want to put any highly vulnerable dudes in this range. But I could drop a dude right here or right here. So let's move this guy out of the way. Let's disembark my mortars here. And then let's just drop everybody and then move out of the way. This is probably a bad idea. I don't know what good they can do here except just draw fire. And that's kind of what I'm having them do, is draw fire. And then similarly, let's disembark these mortars right here and then have this guy move. I'm sure anyone who's played this game a lot before, watching me play this right now, is like, what are you doing? This is the most terrible strategy I've ever seen. This is because I'm new, and I don't know what to expect. So, no, I am learning. Okay, you see, the tank just shot at this guy, but he can take a bunch of hits. There we go. So, infantry are tanks. Anyway, what I'm starting to learn from multiple experiences now in these missions is that the strategy should usually be, instead of reaching out and grabbing the most, like basically getting as far advanced as you possibly can, which is often the right strategy in other games, is just reach out as far as you can, because I don't know, sometimes in a lot of other games you get resources from how much territory you claim, that sort of thing, and there's a benefit to going out and overextending yourself, because it can give you an edge in the future. There's no advantage like that in this game, and so really moving forward conservatively, waiting for the enemy to come to you, is a much smarter strategy. Okay, so what I can expect is for these enemies to try to advance to take this control point. And so what I want to do is dig in my mortars so that when the enemy advances that far, I'm set up to annihilate them. Luckily, none of them went after my helicopter. So, actually, let's load these guys into the helicopter, get them out of the way. Let's see, so how far can these guys go? They can move 3 points, so they could actually move right up next to these guys if they want to. So actually, you know what? Let's get multiple folks in range of damaging any enemy that approaches that control point. Again, I don't know if there's any value in having these guys here, except they might be here to just sort of absorb hits that could have gone to more valuable targets. How far do I need to move my armor out of the way now, though? Let's see. So a tank can move up to 3, and then from here it could shoot up to 4. So I would need to get the vehicles that I want to protect from the tanks will need to get pretty far away. So let's move this guy up here. Let's move this guy back here. So when the tanks advance, yeah, that seems right. Okay, then let's just get this guy way the heck out of here. I think, yeah, let's just, oh crap, what? Okay, well, good to know that that's a possibility. This helicopter might be about to go down, because these guys got nothing better to do. Oh, okay, they're releasing their infantry right now and not advancing on me because they know that would be doom. Oh, wait. Oh, they did advance the tank on me. Okay, this is a good sign. I can do some real damage. Okay, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting that basically, so the high explosive shots that the tanks can do a ton of damage, and they can just take down a vehicle like crazy. It can't be used against infantry, though. And I didn't realize that. Of course, it makes sense. You also can't fire tank shells at a helicopter. I thought the helicopter was doomed, but they can only fire anti-infantry, weapons at it. So the helicopter's in better shape than I realized. So these guys, these transports, are really vulnerable because they can be hit by the anti-vehicle rounds, but these guys can't. So I'll be able to get these guys out of the way. That's good. But first I got to figure out the order in which I want to shoot down these tanks. I've got 3 guys. I've got 4 guys right here that can fire at them. So first, these guys, they can only fire at one particular tank. So let's fire at that tank. Ooh, wow. Okay, you see, look at the way the health bars work. These 2 right here, this is the tank's armor. And so first they take down these 2, and then any other damage gets applied to the actual health, and then the armor immediately regenerates. So like to take this tank down now, I have to do 3 damage to it. Okay, so these 2 guys can only fire at that tank, so I might as well. Let's see here. This guy, how far can this guy fire? What's his range? And why isn't it telling me? There we go. Its range is 3. Okay, so... Oh yeah, it was this tank that fired at that guy. So I was about to say, do I need to make him flee? But I don't think I need to. Well, this tank could advance on him. So maybe Should I you know what, this tank could advance on no matter how far he goes, so I don't think there's any value in trying to make him flee. Let's just have him shoot. So let's fire his mortar at that tank. Oh, he didn't do enough damage. Alright, well, let's have this guy fire at that tank then. So the mortars, the thing about the mortars is, just like in real life, there's a wide variety of outcomes when a mortar fires. Sometimes it does devastating damage. Sometimes it misses entirely. Yeah, people in the chat are giving me, especially Greeting Scar, hi, good to see you, are giving me a lot of leeway because I'm brand new to this game, so I appreciate that. Alright, so these guys, unfortunately, are pretty vulnerable. Hopefully I can, let's see. Okay, so this guy is actually not going to be, well, let's see how much damage I do with this guy. So let's, like, a mortar could take out a tank in one hit if it rolls really well, but looks like that's not what happened here. So this guy can be shot by 2 different enemies next turn if he just stays right here. And you know what? I think that's good. Let's actually move so that to restrict the movement of the enemies. The enemies can't advance past him. Okay, so now we've got this guy. So the closest a tank can get is right here. So a tank could fire that far. So let's move this guy here. Let's definitely get this guy out of range. I guess maybe I should I have him on hand to receive? I wonder if you can fire anti-vehicle rounds at it while he's landed. That would sure be interesting. Let's just, oh, interesting. He can't hover. He can go over trees, but he can't stop over them. Interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna keep him completely out of the way over here. I think I'm not gonna move this guy. This guy can't do much. I mean, yeah, let's move him back here. And I think that's everything I can do. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh my gosh, it's phase 2 already. I can deploy new guys. Okay, so I definitely want at least 1 tank. Let's bring in a tank where the enemy can't see it. I kind of want 2 tanks. And then I could bring in another helicopter full of dudes. Or another personnel carrier. Let's bring another helicopter full of dudes. Just because that's cool. And I think these guys don't have enough. Like, I think I could actually, I could come out here like this and deploy another mortar real close to the front lines. Of course, do I need another mortar? I mean, they've only got the 1 tank left. Actually, where I might need another mortar is when these guys start advancing on me. So, yeah, let's come over here, and I'll drop a mortar there to defend against the north. And I've got 2 points left, so I can't bring any more tanks. So let's... I can get weirdly close to these guys. Okay, let's send... is this where I want to be? That doesn't seem right. So right here, this is a spot where they can actually pass through the forest. So I'd be kind of vulnerable there. But... just trying to think. There's a tank up here somewhere that I definitely want to be ready for. I'm just trying to think where the best place to be ready is. Like, if it tries to come in behind me, that could be bad, but there's not much profit in it coming this direction. It's probably going to try charging down here, in which case just more helicopters down here would be a good idea. So yeah, let's bring in this other helicopter down here and hope that that's the right move. Okay, end turn. I appreciate that it doesn't let me end the turn until I've deployed all my troops, because that's definitely a mistake I was ready to make. Okay, they're trying to take out my mortars. Okay, so all this guy can do is shoot at this guy, so let's let him. And he's gone. Which means that... Okay, this guy can be shot at by him. That's bad. Okay, so now that now that the enemy doesn't have any tanks, I feel way more brazen about bringing out my my vehicles. There is a tank up here still somewhere, and I'm not sure where. They could be coming around this way. They could be coming around that way. So actually, let's set up to defend against that. So let's land. We'll drop off our mortar. And this guy, similarly, let's land. Disembark our mortar. And then this guy, let's get him on. I don't think this guy can't really shoot anybody. Yeah, nobody's going to get in range of this guy. And unfortunately, if he advance, like, these guys are really only good if you've already set them up by the time the enemy arrives. Like, if I try to advance him forward, he's just going to get shot to death by everybody. So, I think maybe we need is to let's just get him out of here. Yeah. Let's advance my tank. So these guys don't even necessarily know I have tanks yet. They might have just seen this tank. I'm not sure what they can see. So 16 by 16 Things asks, is this game good? I loved previous Zachtronics games. So this game is very different from other Zachtronics games. It is not the same thing as, say, like Opus Magnum or Moloch Synthes or Exapunks. It's definitely its own thing, but it's given me a lot of really kind of good memories. I used to play, there was some game, I forgot what it was called now, some sci-fi game very similar to this, that was from like SSI that I played constantly as a kid. I think it even had a unit editor and stuff, and it was like some of my earliest practice in game design. Okay, so let's move this guy up here so he can shoot next turn if he has to. Let's definitely do some damage. I think this unit might be in trouble. Oh wait, I've already fired? Oh no, I just hit the wrong button. It's entirely possible the tank could advance on this guy, so... But yeah, let's send this guy here, because that means I can harry the infantry that's across the pond from me, and they can't do much about it. Oh, interesting. So the helicopters can attack, but only when they're landed. Huh. Is it possible? Okay, so if I put the helicopter here and land it. Oh wait, I can't land it yet. Haha. Okay. I don't think it can be shot. I don't think it can be destroyed this turn. And this guy, I mean, I could try to get him up and move him, but I think I'll keep him here in case these guys try to advance. Oh, one mechanic that I should mention, by the way, it hasn't been critical to the experience yet, but infantry in forest, so they can move through forest, which makes them different from vehicles. But also, when infantry is in the forest, no matter what kind of long-range weaponry you have, you can only attack them from right next to them, and their range of their weapons, except for the mortars, is usually one hex too, which means that the infantry can force the enemy to come to them, and usually since most units can't move and attack in the same turn, what the infantry dug into a forest means is the enemy has to advance on you and then sit there like sitting ducks while you hit them. So you can make some really powerful defensive lines that way if the map is friendly to you. Except tanks, they can come up and they can do damage to you, but a limited amount of damage. So these guys in the forest are actually really powerful. But I think I've done everything I can this turn, so I'm going to end the turn and see how it plays out. Okay, so unfortunately these guys did not have time to get set up. So now this guy's set up. This guy can advance. I wonder if there's any value to me trying to land these helicopters behind enemy lines. And one thing I'm actually really curious about too is, can I land and fire in the same turn with this helicopter? I'm going to try it and see what we think. So I'm going to land. And, okay, the answer is no. No, I cannot. But that's good to know. I think I'm still pretty safe, though. I don't think anybody can shoot me this next turn. So, all right. Let's shoot these guys. Take them out. Then I'm going to advance and capture the point. So now that opens up this next point up here for me to take. This guy, he's dug in now. Next turn he can shoot at this guy. This guy's kind of in trouble. There's two guys who can shoot at him. But, they do 1 to 2 damage, which means that they might not do enough damage to kill him. They also might do enough damage to kill him. He's empty, though, so it might be worthwhile for him to try to do some damage before he dies. Because it's really hard to tell. Like, deciding when to effectively risk sacrificing unit is really rough. Oh, but one thing I can do is that. Okay, that was pretty effective. Can this guy... Oh, he can get in range too. Okay. Okay. Let's take that guy out. So now there's only one enemy that can shoot at me next turn, and it's that one. Could still take me out. Let's see here. Okay, he can get shot at here. He can get shot at here. But not by anyone who can take him down in a single turn. So I'm kind of inclined to just take him far behind enemy lines here and drop some dudes off. And actually, wait a minute. Okay, he's got some super wounded dudes. Maybe he should leave behind and then pick these guys up. So now he'll move over here. Cool. Did not reveal any new enemies. And he'll be able to drop down and release some passengers next turn. Similarly, if he goes over here, nobody can shoot him next turn. And he can... Or actually, only one guy can shoot him. Yeah, let's bring him here. And yay, not revealing any new enemies. That's a good sign. So now I'm just down to... Let's see here. Nobody I can hit with this. So now I'm just down to the question of... Do I try to do damage with this guy and then risk getting killed? Or do I just try to move him away? See here. I've got these helicopters and it'd be great at transporting people, so maybe it's worthwhile to just do the damage I can do and then get out. And then if I died, then, then great. Alright, so that's everybody I can move this, unless, I could try to, start, I can embark this guy, for instance. He's not going to be super useful right there anymore. These guys are ready for whatever comes from above. This guy. Any reason to move this guy? I mean, he's not doing much good down here. Yeah, let's embark him. Okay, now I've moved everybody. So, and turn. Oh, so Greetingscar asks, is the map fixed or are there more tiles to the sides of the map? So yeah, no, this, what you see is what you get. Like, it's actually, it's really similar. I think I compared it earlier to Into the Breach, where, you know, you just, yeah, the map, you know, it's almost like a board game. You just got, this is your very simple map. Is all you get to work with. You're not trying to do anything big, which is good. There's some games that I played recently, some turn-based tactics games that I played recently, where the map was so huge. Like Rebel Cops was this way. The map was so huge that it was just overwhelming to try to play out it in turn-based mode, you know. And this is a pretty slow-moving turn-based game, and so I'm actually pretty grateful that they decided, you know, to keep the maps small and simple. Okay, so I can take this guy out with a tank. Dang it. Okay, so first, I'm going to land this. I'm going to drop off some soldiers. And that's all I can do. I just realized this guy's probably about to get worked. So let's see if that's what happens. This guy... the armor got out. So I didn't set them up fast enough. If I had set them up one turn earlier, they would have been ready when this guy came into view, but they weren't. And yeah, that's the problem with these dudes, is they're pretty slow. Okay, so this guy can shoot that guy, and he didn't get through the armor. It was a 50-50 shot. I wonder. So this guy, okay, so he can advance up here, not be vulnerable that turn, but still shoot at this guy. That felt good. Similarly, let's move this guy up. And... oh! So variable. Okay. So I can actually embark onto the tank, which is great. But when you're embarked on it, you can see the little guys are sitting on the back of the tank. The tank can't shoot while they're on there, but hopefully it'll let me, you know, navigate a little better. And then, so this guy, yeah, so he'll be relatively safe if he advances this far. And okay, so this guy though, I had hoped that I would not be right next to a couple of infantry this turn, but I am. So this was not a good place to land. Let's I'm trying to think where would be a good place to land. I'm thinking maybe landing right here on this control point would be fine. So we'll try that. These guys have already gone. These guys can't do anything. And actually, yeah, they're kind of useless here. I mean, I kept thinking the tank was going to come this way, but it has not. Maybe it's just biding its time up there. I don't know. It can't do much coming from behind, so I don't know what its plan is exactly. You know, honestly, maybe I just want this Jeep up here just to divide everybody's attention. Let's just run it up there. And these guys, I don't know. Just moving forward, I guess. And then let's run this guy all the way over here. I think this will work. So I guess I'll keep these guys here one more turn in case the tank shows up. But I doubt it's going to because it knows that they're there. And then once he's an infantry advance on them, I'll start fleeing. But I think this fight up here is going to end up being just sort of a little superfluous thing that doesn't have any impact on the outcome. So honestly, if I'm doing anything wrong, it's probably wasting this tank up here. It's probably not doing much good. Right, so how far can this guy shoot? Okay, well, first off, oh, okay, I'll set up here, but I can't fire immediately. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so what can I do? So this guy, can shoot at these guys. These guys can shoot at these guys. These guys can shoot at these guys. And they're out. I keep being an idiot and putting this guy in range of the infantry being able to approach him. Luckily, these guys can't do much damage to him, I don't think. Yeah, they can't shoot him while he's in the air at all. So I think that's actually probably fine. So let's still land. Similarly, let's have this guy land. Let's disembark these guys. Disembark these guys. I don't know if the enemy's got another like phase of whatever. What am I talking about? Deployment. Let's run this guy up, and then, oh crap! I can't disembark the same turn. Dang it! I made a mistake. Okay, yeah. So what I had thought I was going to do was, I actually planned ahead this way, and I forgot what I was going to do. I was going to have him disembark his guys into the slot that this Jeep is on. I was having him disembark there and then move, because that's how it works. If you move first, then try to disembark, it doesn't work. So now he can't fire because he's got guys sitting on the back. So that was smart. Oh, but turns out he didn't need to anyway. Great. So this tank is kind of in a conundrum. He can't approach these guys without exposing himself to their anti-tank fire. These guys, though, don't have any anti-tank fire. So maybe what I want to do is run up here. Ooh, and I can see that guy. Can I shoot him? Nope, he's just out of range. But I can shoot these guys, so great. I'm going to flee with these guys. Make this guy come to me and maybe do some damage to him. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot that these guys... Yeah, let's let this guy try to advance one more step and see what happens. I guess... Actually, before I try to advance and take this control point, let's just... Oh, I can't shoot. Okay, never mind. Let's definitely stay out of range of these guys' anti-armor stuff. So I'm here, I'm ready to deploy right there whenever I need to. I guess these guys will just run around. Yep, that's it. Hey there, Reaperos, thanks for joining us. And I forgot to say hi to Not Jim Artist too, so hello everyone. So far, this game is going surprisingly well for me. There we go. I had kind of expected this to go really badly, because my last mission, I had to restart it like 3 or 4 times to figure out what I was doing, and at the very beginning, I overextended myself. I should not have advanced as far as I did, as fast as I did. But I've lucked out. I've done okay. And so let's disembark some dudes. And then get the crap... Actually, wait, do I want to get out of here? Yeah, I guess they could take down this helicopter next turn if they choose to. So... Oh, and these guys have gotten very close to me. That's problematic. Okay, let's disembark these guys to take that control point. So if I shoot at these guys, I'll do 1 damage. He can only do... Okay, so what I want to do is put some space between me and this infantry. So I'm going to... Let's go up here. And then, again, I keep forgetting I've got dudes on the back. What is wrong with me? I'm just completely squandering the abilities of this tank. That makes me very, very sad. Alright, well. Let's move up here. Oh, I can't see anything through this forest. This guy, can he shoot? Nope, not quite, but the tank is scared to get any closer. So, that's good. Let's try moving up here with this guy. And guess we'll embark on this helicopter because these guys aren't accomplishing anything over here. And this time, let's not land within one space of an advancing enemy army. Well, unless by... no, yeah. Well, I don't think they want to move up here, so I'll just land. I'll come right here. I can drop more guys off if I need to. And end turn. This is really silly that I've charged this tank up here. It's not accomplishing anything. And these defenses here, not doing much against that tank. So, whatever. You know what? Let's just start moving these guys back down again. Because that APC can do whatever it wants over there. It can't hurt me, really. Okay, so these guys can take down this infantry. Oh, let's see here. So these guys, the main thing they can do is attack that infantry. These guys, the only thing they can do is attack that infantry. This guy can disembark. Oh no, he can't yet. Hold on. Let's land. Whoop. Then we can disembark these guys. I don't want to move here. Actually, let's embark them. And let's just get this guy way the heck out of here. Let's run him over here and just make sure there's no enemies lurking at the very far edge of the map. It looks like there's not any enemies doing that. So move him over here. These guys are about to get completely murdered by this tank, but I can't do much about that. This guy still can't reach it. The tank is consciously avoiding my radius here. So smart tank, I guess. But again, this is kind of becoming an inconsequential part of the battle, so I can... Oh, okay. Let's disembark these idiots. Okay, there we go. Now, I can take those guys down. Whew, I actually managed to not waste that tank this turn. That's amazing. I don't know if there's much this helicopter can really do. You know what? Let's just bring it over here. Oh, that was dumb, actually, because I just realized it can't shoot these guys from 2 squares away because they're in the forest. Whatever. They'll be dead by the time it lands anyway. And boom. Oh, wow, went after my tank. Was not expecting that. That was pretty deadly, but I'm glad I kept this guy set up. Because, boom, nice. Wow. Well done. But when you get a tank down to only 1 health, it can't move anymore. It's like they busted a track, and so the tank is frozen. It's a really powerful stationary turret now, but it can't move. So they did their damage, but I did mine in return, so that's fine. So let's capture this point. Let's attack these guys. Not move. Attack these guys. Attack these guys. Yeah, you see, I can't attack them with the helicopter because you can only, when they're in the forest, you can only attack them from 1 square away no matter what kind of range you have. And I'm pretty sure this guy cannot move and fire in the same turn. Yeah. But these guys are screwed this next turn. So what I really need, though, is I don't actually need to kill these guys. I mean, I will, but I don't need to. What I need to do is this, is get somebody to this last control point. So next turn, I'm going to win. Pretty sure, unless something weird happens that I don't understand. Okay, so they're going to kill the guys at the control point. Sorry, control point guys. Ooh, can I? Nope, I can't. Okay, whatever. All right, so I think I can just win right now, but out of spite, I'm gonna attack these guys first. But then I'm gonna disembark these guys, these very wounded guys, get the honor of claiming the last control point. And now the mission is complete. So Greetings Car asks, can you take control points in any order or only left to right? Only left to right. So I could not have just charged my helicopters ahead and just taken the ones in the back. I had to go step by step, which meant that there's a front that follows the control points. So we all end up gathering around the 2 control points that matter, the ones that can be taken. So it actually works pretty well. And now we continue the story. Let me pop up the volume a little bit.
You guys seeing what I'm seeing here?
Too many questions, Grail. Yeah, those are U.S. Army. They're using our own equipment against us.
Attack from the inside. Always knew it was gonna go this way. The Russians got cells in every city.
We put our guys in Germany and now they pop up here. Middle of the country. God damn it. How did we let this happen?
Don't know? Don't care. Long as I can shoot more Ivans, I'm good.
Not sure that's what we're doing, boss.
So they heavily imply that the story of this game is that you're being attacked by an America from another parallel universe, from another dimension, which is, you know, there's a lot of stories that I really like that fall along those lines. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched the TV show Counterpart, but it's set in Germany, not the United States, but it's got a very similar thing going on where there's like parallel versions of the same universe, as rivals with each other, and kind of going to war with each other, which is kind of cool. I've unlocked Cribbage Solitaire. Zachtronics has this thing. They like to put solitaire games as just little side games in their other games. They're like, you know, I expect there to be like an exhibit meme saying, I heard you like games, so I put a game in your game. But anyway, so that was one battle in Möbius 83, and is that what this game is called? I'm trying to remember the title of the game. Möbius Front 83, that's what it's called. So that's one battle in Möbius Front 83. I don't want to get too deep into it. I'd love to sort of leave the rest of it as something for folks to discover. But I'd say as an old school turn-based game that reminds me a lot of the strategy games that I played when I was a kid in the 80s. It's a really good example of that. But they've taken a lot of lessons from modern UX and all the things we've learned about game design in the intervening years, and made it a really good example of that genre. So I'm pretty pleased with it, and it's fun to see. You get the sense, I don't know what it's like to work at Zachtronics, but I get the sense that it's like they've got this main type of game that they make as sort of their mainline thing, but then it feels like they just sort of, in between those, they just sort of follow their fancy wherever they like, and they just make whatever weird game occurs to them. And I love it. I love the sort of the sense of freedom that it feels like that studio has. So yeah, I really appreciate the work they do, and I'm impressed by it. So anyway, let's wrap up this video and move on to something else. Maybe I'll put some more Zachtronics games over here. I don't know.